Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Chris Cooks Content YouTube channel. I'm Chris. We're going to do a bit of cooking today. It's part 2 of the Bum Kicking Brownies episode, and we're going to show you a variation on the basic recipe, and we're going to show you some ways to decorate and serve the brownies. Your mouth's going to be watering by the end of this. Stick around. To start the episode today, I'm going to show you a variation on the basic brownie recipe. Now, don't get me wrong. I said in the first video that the basic brownies are fantastic, and they are. You will never get any complaints serving up the basic recipe. I guarantee it. I said they're going to be one of your signature dishes, and they will. But here's a little variation just to get the creative juices flowing, and just if you do want to mix it up, you know, maybe the 10th time you get invited round for afternoon tea, you could do the variation. Then go back to the original recipe because everybody loves it. All right, here it is. Variation number 1. The variation starts with making a half mixture of the basic recipe. You want to see the full recipe? Go back to the other videos. So going very quickly through a half mixture: 125 grams of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, half a cup of cocoa, half a cup of plain flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and a little blob of vanilla. Let's hit it. How easy was that? There it is. A half mixture of the basic brownie recipe. Now, I'm sure suspense is killing you. Where does the variation come in? This thing. We're adding cream cheese cubes to this basic brownie recipe. This is great. This takes it over the top. I have seen recipes where they get you to take, for cream cheese brownies, take the cream cheese, mix some sugar and maybe some vanilla into the cream cheese itself. Too much like hard work. All we're going to do, take this straight out of the packet, cut it into nice little cubes and stir it in. That's all you need to do. It's an extra 1 minute on the recipe and just something to keep the end eater a little bit more interested. It's good. All right, there it is, just some little cubes. Just going to mix it straight in. Now, because it's half-size mixture, we just need a half-size tin. We'll grease that, just put some baking paper to line the bottom, straight into the oven. Okay, here it is, ready to go into the oven. Got a little bit of the cheesecake lumps showing through the top here. Don't sweat it, they'll caramelize a bit on top, go a little bit golden, a little bit crunchy. It's part of the flavor. And as you can see, this is probably going to turn out a little bit rustic, a little rough around the edges. It's just one of those recipes. And you know what? Who cares? Fantastic. It shows people that it's homemade. It shows people that it's got your heart in it. This hasn't come out of a factory. It's not everything the same, all slices looking identical. It is a little bit rough around the edges, but that's part of its charm. 180 degrees. We'll check it after about 30-35 minutes. See you soon. Time for decoration. Let's see how that cheesecake brownie worked out. A little bit rustic on top. It actually took about 35 minutes to cook, but that's cool. So we'll decorate that one. And this is the brownies we made yesterday. I haven't taken them out of the tin yet. I'm just going to show you a couple of different variations on decorating the brownies, serving the brownies, and it'll have people begging for more. All right, let's start. Got our brownies. Take them out of the tin. If you remember, we used the butter wrapper to line the tin. Just take that off. See, it works. And now we're just going to cut these brownies. I think with this size, if we cut them into 16 pieces, so we cut them in half that way, and quarters that way, and then half, and then quarters this way. And what I actually like to do is to cut the edges off first, just so we get really even brownies. Now, some people will tell you that this part, the edge part of the brownie, the slightly crunchy bit of the brownie, is the very best bit. And in fact, when I was working in an office, if I cut up the brownies and cut the edges off, the people that weren't invited to the morning tea or weren't invited into the meeting where I was serving the brownies would be running into the kitchen just to get the offcuts so they could eat those as a little snack for themselves with their cup of tea. But anyway, we'll cut the edges off, cut them into 16 pieces, and then go from there. Also, you've noticed I haven't turned it over yet. So this is sort of working from the top, with the top underneath. We're working with the brownies upside down. I actually think it's easier just to cut them with it's upside down. Then you turn it the right way up when we're going to decorate them. So we'll cut to the chase. You'll see it in a sec. Here's our brownies, cut into 16 roughly equal squares. Don't sweat it too much. As you can see, the brownies that were on the edge actually ended up a little bit taller than the brownies that were in the middle. The brownies, the pieces from the middle, they sort of sunk a little bit and they're a little bit gooier. So they're the really good ones in my opinion. Don't worry that some are high, some are low. It shows that they're homemade. It shows that you've put the love in when you actually serve them. So I'll show you 3 different variations on cooking these brownies. One easy, one classic, and well, one that's a bit over the top, but you wait till you see it. Variation number 1, the most simple. Here's our squares of brownie, and this is just icing sugar or confectioner's sugar, as you can also call it. Into our little sieve, a little tea strainer, get a nice little coating, a little dusting of icing sugar on each of those brownies. Put them onto a plate. And believe me, classic brownie, cut them into squares, a little bit of sugar on top. People cannot get enough. If you want to go further, we'll show you how to go further. There is nothing wrong with that. It's an absolute world beater as is. Variation number 1, the classic, and in my opinion, the best. People love coffee with brownies, whether they have a cup of coffee as they eat their brownie. A lot of brownie recipes have coffee added to the mixture. So to get some coffee flavor on our basic brownies, I'm going to make some coffee flavored icing. So very simple to make icing. We've just got half a cup of icing sugar, or icing mixture, it's sometimes called in the supermarket, or confectioner's sugar if you're overseas. 1 teaspoon of instant coffee, about half a teaspoon of butter. And we want to melt that butter and mix it into the rest of the ingredients. So to do that, we add about 2 teaspoons, only 2 teaspoons of water that's still just been boiled. So boiling hot water from my trusty kettle. Give that a bit of a mix. So I've mixed the icing. I've just put it in, this is the normal sandwich bag you put the kids' sandwiches in when they're going off to school. And if you look, we've sort of got some little, some of the granulated coffee, the instant coffee, hasn't quite dissolved into the mixture. Again, you know what I say? So what? It's part of it being homemade, it's part of it being rustic. So we're just going to cut a tiny little corner off. And now we just want to get a bit of a messy, squiggly mixture on top of these brownies. Whatever you want, you can do a full coating if you like, but I actually think that's a bit of fun. And now the finishing touch on this variation, these are crumbled walnuts. A couple of those on the top of each brownie. Classic mixture, classic combination, the coffee, the walnuts, and that beautiful, rich chocolate brownie. underneath. Variation number 2, complete. Variation number 3, and hold on to your hats because this gets a little crazy. As you can see, we're just working on top of the mess that we made for the previous variation, but that's all right. We'll clean it up later. Variation number 3, marshmallows. So we just get a marshmallow, and because we're working with a small little bit of brownie, I'm just going to cut those in half and put it on top. Again, now we've got a pink marshmallow. We'll cut that in half and put it on top, but it doesn't stop there. Now I get my trusty butane torch. Just now that they melted a little bit, just squash that down a little bit to get some of that marshmallow coming out the edge. And just one extra little second with the torch. Pretty crazy. I bet you no one's had those if you take these for morning tea. And here is the finished product. Basic brownies with the icing sugar, basic brownies with the coffee icing and walnuts, basic brownies with the melted marshmallows, so a s'mores flavor, and this is our cheesecake brownies. I've just put a little bit of icing sugar on top of that for looks. They turned out pretty rustic today, as I said they were going to when we saw it in the tin, but boy are they tasty. If you showed up with a plate like this at an office morning tea, you would get knocked over in the rush. Especially for this video, especially for these recipes. Don't just watch the video, try the recipes. You will thank me when you do. And we are finished. Thank you for watching. We've got new videos coming up all the time. If you subscribe to this channel, you will not miss a single video. You will not miss a single recipe. If you like brownies, and who doesn't, why not give this video a like? And why don't you leave a comment to tell me which of those variations you think look the best? Or even better still, tell me which of the variations that you made and shared with your family, shared with your friends, shared with your work colleagues, which of the variations went down the best when you made them for someone else? There's 2 ratings you're going to get for these brownies. Either fantastic or absolutely fantastic. That's the only way it's going to go, I guarantee it. These are your signature dishes waiting to happen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying till the end. We'll catch you next time.